Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things, and welcome to my 5-year, 50,000 subscriber live stream celebration. I am so glad that you are here today and just looking forward to hanging out, sharing a few memories, sharing a few prizes, and just having some fun for a little while today. So I want to welcome you here and excited to share a little bit of information with you. Uh, this is kind of interesting. I've done a little live streaming over the course of my channel, but it has been a while. And for those of you who maybe haven't been around for as long as some others, what you need to know is that when I started this channel, up until just a couple of months ago, I live out of town and I had the worst internet in the world, and it was the only internet that was available. And I did some live streaming for a while, and the quality was just really, really horrible, and had a lot of problems with things dropping out. Fortunately, thanks to the push from COVID to get high-speed internet into rural areas, we finally got high-speed internet here at my home just a couple of months ago. And so I'm lightning fast now, so should not have an internet speed issue today. I may have some other issues, but shouldn't have an internet speed issue. So I'm excited about that. And I want to welcome you to my live stream celebration today. Just want to say hi to Cloverdale Rail. Marcel, good to see you here. Of course, my friend Eric Hall, I am RRO.com. Good to see you. Todd Bryan, glad that you're in the live stream today. Dave Davis, hope that you are doing well. Robert Darby, Jay Royer, welcome to you and all of you here today. And the names are piling up here pretty fast. I'm just going to take a little bit of time today to share a little bit of history of my channel, talk a little bit about what's been happening recently, because I know that there are some questions there that I want to answer, talk a little bit about where we're going in the future. I'm going to take some questions and answers a little bit later in the stream. So if you've got those, you hold on to those. We can get those a little bit later. I don't want to be trying to read the chat all the way through. But just want to, and periodically throughout, I've got several things I want to give away today. Some Ron's Trains and Things merchandise that I'm going to give away, as well as some Midwest Model Railroad gift certificates that we're going to share with a couple of lucky participants today. This is my celebration of 5 years and 50,000 subscribers. And to be honest, at this point, it's been closer to 5.5 years. My channel anniversary is actually in April, so it'll be 5 years and 5 months now. But I held on for this because I wanted to really celebrate that milestone, the 50,000 subscribers, and I passed that milestone just a couple of weeks ago. And I want to just kind of recount, because I know some of you have been around from the very beginning, and I really appreciate your faithfulness and viewing over the course of these 5 years. Some of you are brand new and have just subscribed to the channel, and I'm glad that you're here and I welcome you. But just a little bit of history about where the channel started and where it has come from. The channel started in April of 2017, and going back just a little bit before that, up until then, as far as YouTube is concerned, I had just been a casual YouTube user at best. And, I used YouTube to watch for some entertainment. I used it when I needed to work on my dryer or my car, but really never gave any thought to, seriously starting a YouTube channel. Then I had a weekend where I was caught out away from home, stuck in a hotel with nothing to do but a laptop. And so somehow I got on YouTube and ran across a particular model railroad YouTube channel. And if I named the channel, you would be familiar with it. And it caught my interest. And literally over the course of 2 days, I sat and just binge watched everything that was on that channel. And I was watching it. I thought two things. Number one, it was enjoyable. It was model railroading, so it was fun to watch. But number two, I thought, I could do that. I'm, of course, as most of you know, I'm a pastor by trade, so speaking in front of people was not a problem. I've been doing that for 35 years. Speaking to a camera is a little different, but not a lot different than speaking in front of people. So that part came pretty naturally. I wanted to do something to contribute to the hobby, and this was a way that I thought I could do that. So I had that thought rolling around in my head for a few months. And then in April of 2017, my friend Eric Hall at IMRRO.com held his Big Build contest version 2. And I was watched with interest as he talked a little bit about this contest. And I thought, that looks like a lot of fun. And that may be a great opportunity for me to get started with YouTube, because it was about building a model, but also making video, publishing them to YouTube. Consequently, that's exactly how the channel started in April of that year. I made the 3 videos for that contest, made some friends along the way. Eric and I have become good friends. Maybe ruining his reputation here by saying that, it just gave me a jump start. And by the time that contest was over, about a month into my channel, I had 100 subscribers, and I thought, this is pretty cool. And so I just kept going. Early on, I really thought my channel would look different than it does. I had planned originally to have more of a broader type of content about railroad and model railroading. I thought I'd do some prototype videos. I thought I would do some more tool reviews and other kinds of things. But I started off doing the how-to videos, and that's what stuck. And so as I made more how-to videos, people responded to them really well. And when I made other kinds of videos, they didn't respond as well. So I'm like, okay, I'm a model railroad how-to channel. And that's what I've been doing then for the last 5 years ever since. I also, during those first few months, had an opportunity to hold a contest of my own, a weathering contest, the Down and Dirty weathering contest. I hosted that contest twice, and then it's been hosted again by John Crowdis. And that contest was a lot of fun. It was a great way to promote the channel and also get to know some people. But through that contest, I got the opportunity to get to know the folks at Midwest Model Railroad, because they sponsored that contest, sponsored the prizes for that contest. And I have been very happy and proud to be affiliated with Midwest Model Railroad ever since then. They have continued to sponsor my channel. They have given me a lot of great opportunities to film at their store. And it's a great store. I that's where I do the vast majority of my model railroad shopping as well. And so I'm proud to continue to be connected with the good folks at Midwest Model Railroad, and to be sharing a couple of gift certificates for you to be able to use at their website or in their store today. So we're looking forward to that. So that's kind of when the channel got started. And it's been quite a ride ever since. It's been a lot of fun. I've been amazed at the response that I've gotten. I do want to take an opportunity to address. I've gotten a little bit of negativity off and on throughout by people who would like to accuse me of having bought subscribers, or having done this or that unethical or dishonest thing to grow the channel. And I'm just going to come on the record once and for all, and I literally mean once and for all, and say none of that is true. I've never bought a subscriber. I've never been involved in any kind of sub for sub kind of schemes or anything like that. I've just done my best to make the kind of model railroad content that I wanted. And as such, a lot of people have responded to that because they wanted it as well. I've never promoted myself as being the expert or even an expert in a lot of areas of the hobby. I've been model railroading for 25 years. I've learned some things along the way that I still have a lot to learn. And there are some YouTube channels and some model railroaders out there that I learn from all the time right now, and I appreciate them. And I just want to share and pass on what I've learned. And I know a lot of the folks who subscribe and follow my channel are fairly new to the hobby, beginners, or maybe they've been out of the hobby for a lot of their adult life and are coming back to the hobby and finding a lot of technology and things that they are not familiar with. And so they come along looking for some of those helps. And I'm glad to be able to offer them what help that I can. and I really enjoy the time that we have together. All right, I'm rambling on, so I'm going to pause for just a moment. I think it's time to give something away, don't you? My first giveaway today, my first few things are going to be some Ron's Trains and Things merch, and I'm going to give away several t-shirts today, Ron's Trains and Things t-shirts. Now, I have a merchandise store that's connected to my to my page. You see the shelf underneath all of my videos from Spreadshop, and those are good shirts. These particular shirts here are the ones that I carry around to shows with me. They're made by a local vendor here, and honestly, these are the best quality shirts that I have. I would send these to everybody if it wasn't for the fact that shipping them out is just overwhelming. So these are really nice quality shirts. I have them in all adult sizes from small all the way up to, I know, 2X and maybe even 3X. So we're going to start by giving away a t-shirt, and we're going to do all these giveaways the same way. I've got some index cards. I'm not going to hold it up too long because the light's shining through it. I figured out you can see through them. So I've got a number written on this index card right here. And what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you enter a number into the chat between 1 and 100. And I've got my chat set on live chat. And as soon as I see this number, I'm going to take that name, and that's going to be our winner. So I'm going to have you go ahead and start right now entering numbers from between 1 and 100. And as soon as I see the number I have in my hand, I will call that out. And I'm just going to keep rambling on until I do. All right, I see numbers coming through here. I don't see it yet. I'll take this opportunity as we're looking through these numbers here to say thank you to my moderators today, Stephen at Midwest Model Railroad, as well as Eric Hall at IMRRO.com. They have been moderators on my channel for a long time. We haven't done any live streaming for them to have to moderate for a while, but I'm glad to have them back at work today. Maybe 1 to 100 was too far, because we'll surely catch it here in a minute. Backtrack here, make sure I haven't missed it. I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. There's a lot of numbers between 1 and 100, isn't there? Ba 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 bum. Yeah, no, I'm not going to sing. All right, I'm watching, looking, still don't see it. Keep guessing. You can guess more than once if you want. As soon as I see it, I will holler it out. I've seen a couple that were close. Boy, sometimes those just really make a big jump. There's where I was. No, that's not it. Oh, that's so close. There's 2 that are real close. Keep guessing, keep guessing, keep guessing. Maybe we'll do this a little bit differently on the others. That's the 1 to 100 is a lot. I didn't dream that it would take this long to. Here we go. I see it. And the winner is Francisco with the number 88. All right. Congratulations, Francisco. I am going to write that down here. And what I need for you to do is I need you to send me an email. I've written your channel name down here. Send me an email to ronstrainsanthings@gmail.com. Put live in the description of the video. In the subject line, that's what I'm trying to say, of the email, and give me your size and your shipping address, and I'll be sure and get that out to you. And thank you so much for playing, and we're going to do a couple more of those in just a few minutes. We talked a little bit about kind of how the channel got started. The channel's definitely had its ups and downs at times, and those ups and downs have more to do with my life than they do with anything else. Of course, I'm not retired. I still work a full-time job. Through most of the time that I've done this channel, I still had some kids living at home, and just some busyness outside of the YouTube channel itself. But a lot of you have noticed, I'm sure, that I have been really hit and miss over the course of the last year. And I haven't really taken a lot of time to talk about that, but I want to tell you a little bit now, just kind of what has happened over the last year, so you kind of have a little bit of an understanding. In the fall of the year, around this time, as many of you know, I have a team of disaster relief volunteers. And what we do is we work with a national and a state organization, doing volunteer work after hurricanes, tornadoes, flood events, different things like that. We work with homeowners, helping them to clean out flooded homes. We do chainsaw work, trying to cut down and remove trees that have fallen on homes or blocking homes, various things like this. They also do mass feeding, as they're doing right now in Florida, as you can imagine. And so fall tends to be busy. I usually tend to be gone at least 2 or 3 weeks out of the course of the fall, doing disaster relief work. In fact, I'm getting ready to leave a week from today to go to Florida to do some cleanup after Hurricane Ian. Last fall was normal. I was gone a few weeks with disaster relief. That always slows down my video production a little bit. Unfortunately, on one of those disaster relief calls, I injured my back. I've had some back problems for years, and I aggravated that. And as a result, I was down for over a month, just unable. I could not sit at my computer to edit video, let alone to do model projects or much of anything else. As I was getting back on my feet from that around the holidays, then first of the year came, I started making some videos, and then my daughter, my 26-year-old daughter, came down with COVID and got long COVID neuropathy. I won't go into a lot of detail with that there, but she ended up in the hospital for a while, and then she couldn't walk. She couldn't walk up and down stairs. She ended up moving back in with us here at home for about 5 months, and we were caring for her full time. At the same time, my father, who's 90 plus years old, developed some heart issues and is having problems with arrhythmia and was in and out of the hospital. And so from February until about June of this year, I was a primary transportation and about full-time caretaker for my daughter and my father, as well as recovering from my own injury. We just had quite a year. In there also, my youngest son graduated from high school, and we were in the process of moving him to college. My daughter, as she's gotten back on her feet, has moved out of state now. It's just been a whirlwind for about the last 12 months. That's why you haven't seen the number of videos from me that you normally would expect to on this channel. But I want you to rest assured, first of all, as you've already seen, if you've been following the channel, I've been doing some work through that time. I've been working on this new hidden staging yard that you've seen some videos about, and the routing system through that. And have finally been able to get some of those videos edited and up. And I've got some new projects going. So I want you to know that there is new stuff coming. I'm getting back on the horse. Yes, I'm going to be in and out a little bit for the next few weeks with some disaster relief stuff. But the videos are coming back, and I am very excited to say that. I've also, of course, as many of you know, I've made some videos for Model Railroad Academy, and I've been away from that for most of this calendar year as well. I've been in contact with them the last few days, and we're going to be getting back to making some videos under contract with them as well. So that's kind of where it's been. I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what is coming up here in a minute. But before that, I think we ought to give away another prize, don't you? This time we're gonna add a little to it. I'm going to give away another T-shirt that's upside down, another Ron Strange and Things T-shirt. But with it also, I'm going to give away a coffee mug. I ordered several of these when my channel was brand new. You see me drink out of one of these at the end of almost every one of my videos. I'm down to just 2 of these left, so I'm going to give them both away today, and then the only one left will be the one that I drink out of all the time. So a T-shirt and a coffee mug. Where's my card? Maybe we'll do this a little quicker this time, but again, I've got a number that is between 1 and 100, and you know what? As I have said this, I literally see the number come in. That's crazy. And if I wasn't giving away some more, I'd probably wait. But literally, as I said this, the number has come in here, and it came from John Barclay, number 27. Number 27. I don't know how you did that, John, but congratulations. That was really, really fast. So don't worry. I got another one or two of those left. I'm going to write. I said John. It's Jim. Jim Barclay. Jim, again, I need you to send me an email, ronstrainsanthings@gmail.com. Tell me your t-shirt size and give me your shipping address. Be sure and put live in the subject line of that email so that I know to look for that. And congratulations. Whoa, that was a pretty impressive kind of a display right there. We'll see how the first one took forever. Second one went super fast. So, okay. What's coming up? What's going to be happening with Ron's Trains and Things in the near future? Well, as you remember through the videos that I have been able to make last spring, most of them have involved the North Texas scene on the new section of my layout. In fact, I'm not very good at doing this. Right here behind me, you see the upper deck of the new section of my layout, and that is my North Texas scene. Obviously, it's blurred in the background and everything right now. But that's the area where I've been working, and I'm getting back to that now. So you're going to be seeing some videos there about how I do ground cover and scenery. We're going to be making some background trees as well as some hero trees, installing and blending in the highway that I already built and made a video about. And adding lots of details. I'm looking forward to getting some open country scenery on my layout. Before I added this new section of my layout, I was really lacking that, and just needed some more just kind of interesting country in between some of the towns that are on my layout. And so that's exactly what that whole upper section of the new part of the layout is all about. And I'm really enjoying building it. I'm excited about the photographs that I had for reference to help me to build that. So that's going to be one of the things that's coming up right away. Several of you have been asking for a new layout tour. I'm going to be making a full layout tour video this fall in the very near future. So you can look forward to that. But I want to give you a sense. So one of the things that's hard to give a sense of in a video is how a basement is laid out, how it looks. So I'm going to switch to this other angle, and you're going to get my side view here. And you can see, I'm not very good at pointing, right over here. This is the area where I shoot the intros and conclusions to nearly all of my videos. So that mountain scene that you're used to seeing is up here on the top deck. Down on the bottom deck here is Fort Worth, Texas. And then over near that door is where both the decks, the track goes into the utility room on the other side, which is where my staging yards are for both ends of the layout. Comes around this little peninsula here, and then you see basically the rest of the layout behind me. The two decks that go from, I keep pointing backwards. It's this way. Here it is, right here. Through North Yard as they come around from Fort Worth to Saginaw, which goes all the way around the lower deck over here. Then up the helix. The helix is behind this staircase. You might be able to make out some of the helix right in there behind that spiral staircase, and then comes up to that North Texas scene on this side, Saginaw back in the back over on this side, and then we get into the mountain scenery up in here and back over to the other side. So that gives you a little bit of sense of kind of how the basement is laid out. But I'm going to be doing more of a full tour of the layout itself. A couple things I want to get done before I do. I've got a little bit of industrial track still that has to be laid. I want to get the rest of that laid. I want to get everything wired because as I do the layout tour, I want to run some trains and let you see some trains actually rolling on it. So those are things that are coming up. Also, I've got a stack of stuff that I want to do some reviews for over on the Ron's Rail Reviews channel. And for those of you who may have missed it or may not know, I've stopped doing review types of videos on the main channel on Ron's Trains and Things. Started a separate channel for that called Ron's Rail Reviews. You can search for that. And but I've got several videos that I want to get up this fall for the Ron's Rail Reviews channel. So I'm looking forward to that. Also want to take just a moment to invite you to be a part of my somewhat new community on Facebook. I had a brand page on Facebook for Ron's Trains and Things, but the drawback to that brand page was only I could post on it. Other people could comment on the posts, but it really didn't build community very well. So a couple of months ago, I started a new group in Facebook called Ron's Rail Fans, and I put a link to it in the top of the description down below this video. So if you'd like to find it, you can go click on it, join that. I do ask you to answer a couple of questions. It just keeps me from getting a lot of bots into that Facebook group. So those are just for the sake of me helping to know that you're actually a human wanting to be a part of the group. But I want to invite you to come and be a part of it. We have a lot of fun in there. People post pictures and little video clips of things that they are working on and share together. And so it's a pretty cool thing. Hey, I see a comment here that I've just got to share. Jim Barclay, again, our winner of our last giveaway, says Saginaw is less than 10 miles from me. And I'll take a moment just to say the reason why I model what I do is because I lived in the Fort Worth area, specifically in Watauga, Texas, for about 6 years. And for 3 of those years, I drove through Saginaw every day to and from work. And I just thought this is an area that absolutely begs to be modeled. So North Yard and Saginaw are really the heart around which all of the rest of my layout is built. Just because it was a place that I was inspired by and absolutely loved, and I really have enjoyed modeling it. This is my second layout that has featured those. Okay, we're going to do another giveaway, and after we do this giveaway, now I'm not going to look. Don't put up any numbers yet. Wait until I say go. I don't want you to get ahead of me. After we do this giveaway, I'm going to take some questions and answers. And I know some of y'all, there's a little conversation going in the chat. That's fine. So if you've got a question you want me to answer, put a Q in front of it and then ask the question. And I'll try to answer as many of those as I can over the course of the next few minutes. But my third giveaway, again, this is a merch giveaway. I got another Ron's Trains and Things t-shirt. I've got one more Ron's Trains and Things coffee cup, and I've got some awesome stickers. I'm almost out of stickers. I got to order some more, but I got some stickers for this particular giveaway. Where's my correct card? Here it is. So a number between 1 and 100, and go. And we'll see how quickly this one comes in. In the meantime, while everybody's talking, I'm reading a couple of comments about Saginaw. Here's Anthony. Was it Anthony? Well, sometimes they move too quick. Saginaw is a racing transmission too. Yeah, that's true. I think that's because of Saginaw, Michigan, though. Different Saginaw, same name, different state. Okay, let's look for my number here. And here it is. We have it very quickly again. This time, and I apologize, I'm not very good at names sometimes. Dennis Freitas, I hope I pronounced that right. Number 35. So, Dennis, congratulations. I'm going to drop my pen. I'm going to write your name down here. F-R-E-I-T-A-S. Dennis, drop me an email, ronstrainsanthings@gmail.com. Put live in the subject line so I know what the email is, and give me your t-shirt size and a shipping address, and we will get those to you just as fast as we can. All right, very good. Y'all are still guessing numbers. I know there's some lag here. So, all right, let's take some questions and answers here. And I'm gonna you'll forgive me. I'm terrible at reading and talking at the same time. But I will try to grab couple of these at a time. By the way, I do want to say, and I had it written down here, I want to make sure that I say, wow, I just flashed that number right on the screen. We're going to throw that one out. Okay. I do want to say I haven't done much live streaming for the reason that I've already recounted for a while. I'm planning to get back to doing some live streaming, not weekly live streaming, but probably monthly live streaming. Now, I'm not planning on doing that like the live streaming hangout type of thing, just because there are a lot of guys doing that, and more power to them. That's not really my thing. I'm going to do some live streaming that's going to revolve around some specific content, some projects, and also maybe address some questions that I get a lot in the comments. I don't always get all of those comments responded to. Once you get to a certain level, it's pretty hard to respond to. All the comments that you get. There are just so many. So I'm going to try to take some of those major questions and deal with them in a live stream maybe once a month. Let's see here. Grab a question or two. Eric, can you chew gum and walk at the same time? The answer is no. Here's a good question. Brian Carpenter, why did you get started in model railroading? I love that story, and I'll tell the brief version of it. I've loved trains since I was a kid. I grew up on a farm in between a couple of railroad towns and was around trains in that sense since I was a child and loved them. Did not know that the hobby of scale model railroading even existed until I was in my 20s. And when I was about 28 years old, I was in Florida at a large permanent flea market and just happened upon a model railroad shop. I'd never seen a model railroad shop before, and walked in and was just amazed. A couple of small operating layouts, locomotives, rolling stock, everything that you could imagine and would expect in a good model railroad shop. And I had dabbled in a lot of hobbies up to that time. I had done a little woodworking. I had collected stamps for many, many years. I played a little bit of golf really, really badly. And I literally told my wife that day in that shop, I'm trading all of my other hobbies for this one. And that's exactly what I did. Started off collecting some HO scale stuff. And at that time, I was young and moving a lot, so it was hard to build an HO layout, moving as much as we did. So I decided I would dabble in some N scale, just because I could build something small and portable that I could move and have fun. And I fell in love with it. And a couple years later, I sold all my HO scale stuff and dove headfirst into N scale and have never looked back. So that's a great question. Thank you. Let's see here. Here's a good question. Pete Motley, how about making a blooper video compilation? Pete, I'm going to tell you, I actually had planned to do that for my 5-year anniversary, but all the things that were happening that I described to you, making that blooper reel, it's fun, but it takes a lot of work. Now, I made one really, really early. If you look back about 3 or 4 months into my channel, when I hit 500 subscribers, I made a blooper reel. Honestly, that blooper reel was easier to make because I made a lot more mistakes in filming back then than I do now, just because I wasn't as experienced. I'm going to make another blooper reel because it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm not afraid to laugh at myself. And it takes a little bit of time. I had planned to do it last April, and just with everything that was happening, wasn't able to. But I'm going to get that done one of these days. Let's see here. Whoops, they're moving too fast here. Here's a good one from Liam's Trains. What advice do you have for a new model railroader? I would say my experience is this. How I view model railroading has changed a lot over time. And what I had as my goals early on are different from what my goals are now. And I would say take a look at what you most enjoy about trains, about model railroading now, and focus on that for now. There'll be a lot of people that will tell you, you've got to do it this way or you've got to do it that way. What you need to do is you need to do what's most fulfilling and most enjoyable and is most fun for yourself. I started off modeling a completely different railroad. because it was the railroad that I grew up with. I was a Mopac fan. I got into BNSF because I lived in a BNSF town shortly after that merger, and I fell in love with the variety of paint schemes of the merger era, because you had, very quickly the H1 and the H2 schemes, plus you had, patched out war bonnets and blue bonnets and the Cascade Green BN units, and it was like modeling 4 or 5 different railroads all at once. So that was a change for me. Early on, I like to just be able to rail fan my videos. Now I'm more into designing for operations. So do what's fun for you now. Don't be afraid to make changes as you go. Change your focus. Change maybe what you model, or again, as something new catches your interest, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make those changes. Let's see. Here's a question. Richard Rainier, do you have Rio Grande locomotives or rolling stock in your consist? I don't have. I actually think I might have one old patched out Rio Grande. I believe it's a covered hopper. I think it's the only Rio Grande that I have. I do have some foreign road stuff just to kind of keep everything interesting, but for the most part, I have BNSF and of course then their predecessor railroads. I also interchange, so I have an interchange with Union Pacific, so I have some UP, a little bit of UP stuff. I interchange with a couple of short lines, so I have some stuff from those short lines as well. I keep an eye on my time here. I got time for maybe one more here. Let's see here. This is Chris English, who says, subject for the future, there are a number of autonomous Arduino stuff, but not a lot of JMRI integration. And I'm going to be honest with you. That is a little bit outside of my area of expertise. The Arduino stuff is something that I have found to be fascinating, and I've had a lot of fun learning, but I am still just learning. JMRI, I know how to use the things that I use, but I'm no expert at all. But I'm going to be watching for that, because I would be very interested in more of the integration between the two as well. All right, I'm going to take one more question here, and then we're going to do another giveaway. Anthony Borden says, how do you measure the space between your blocks? The general rule of thumb is that you want a block to be at least as long as your longest train. So whatever the longest train you run on your layout is, you're talking about blocks for the sake of detection. You definitely want a block to be longer than your longest train, but even for electrical purposes. For me, I kind of do mine in segments or by scenes. For example, as you come out of the staging that I showed you a little bit ago around to North Yard, that area through Fort Worth up until you are approaching North Yard is one block. All the way through North Yard is longer than my longest train. So that's a block in itself. And then around the Saginaw industrial area is a separate block. Each one of those is longer than my longest train. That way you don't have a train bleeding over from one block into another. It can get fully into one block, and you won't be, if you're doing detection, you don't want to be detected in more than one block at a time that way. All right, we're going to take a break here for just a minute and do another giveaway. Let's see, I've got 2 more to do here. Bop, 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 bop. Hold on just a second. Don't write anything yet. Okay, we're going to take one more number from 1 to 100, and this time we're giving away a $50 gift certificate to Midwest Model Railroad to the first person who guesses the number that I'm holding in my hand right now. And go. Numbers between 1 and 100. We'll see how quickly we get this one. The last 2 came really, really fast, so we'll see what happens here. We're watching for it. 550 is not between 1 and 100. Okay, haven't seen it yet. There's one that's close. There's another one that's close. Trying to watch them carefully. I don't want to miss one. Hello, Andy Crawford. Good to see you in here today. Saw Robert Holloman earlier. Good to see you in here too. Glad that y'all have joined me. Oh, there's one that's really close, but not quite. Ah, here we go. Robert Martin, number 92. Congratulations, Robert, on winning that $50 gift certificate to Midwest Model Railroad or MidwestModelRR.com. To get that gift certificate, again, I need you to send me an email to ronstrainsInthings@gmail.com. By the way, that email is in the description down below. Be sure and put live in the subject line and remind me that you won the first of the Midwest Model Railroad gift certificates, and we will get that to you. I'm going to write your name right here so I have it, and we'll be watching for that. All right, we're going to take a few more questions and answers here, and then we're going to do one more giveaway. One more gift certificate. So if you've got some more questions, now would be the time. I got to scroll down and catch up. Here's a good question. Moccasin Railroad Club. Do you find rolling stock seems to be getting more expensive? Well, yeah, everything is getting more expensive. And locomotives and rolling stock are definitely included in that. Along with that, I will also say, especially as an N-scaler, that a lot of rolling stock is getting a lot better than it used to be. N-scale rolling stock is much more beautifully detailed. Most of it, runs better than it used to. So I think the quality is improving, but yes, I think that it's not cheap as well. That is not to say that there isn't a way to do model railroading on a budget. You can still, if you're interested in going to shows and swap meets, you can pick up some older stuff and do some upgrading on it yourself and some detailing on it yourself. I have been one to collect over time. I mean, what I've literally collected over the course of 25 years. So there are ways of doing that on a budget as well. Here's a question, Richard Rainier. When you were here on vacation in Colorado, did you make it to the Colorado Model Railroad Museum? I did last year. I've actually been to Colorado last year, twice last year, 3 times last year, once this year. And so, yes, in fact, I made a video, I believe, about that vacation and included a part of an interview from Michelle Kimpema there at the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. I also visited the Colorado Railroad Museum in Golden, and we rode the Georgetown Loop, and we included all of that in that video, and had a good time. Colorado is a great place for a rail fan to go and visit. Rail Stalker Adventures. Have you ever rail fanned real trains, and if so, where? Yes, a lot. I grew up rail fanning real trains. Again, as I said in the beginning, if you were here, I grew up in between a couple of railroad towns in western Missouri. And so, watched trains in Warrensburg, Missouri on what was the Mopac back then, and then the GM&O in Higginsville, Missouri. Until I moved here, I am not close to a railroad where I live right now. Until I moved here, I've always been close to a railroad. I lived a lot of my life along the Sedalia subdivision of the Union Pacific in several towns, and so I've rail fanned, did a lot. I did a lot of rail fanning in North Texas when we lived there, much of it in Saginaw and along North Yard. Now, if I go rail fanning today, if I'm going on just a day trip, I go to Fort Scott, Kansas, and Railfan BNSF. There are some really good Railfan spots there, and I can hit the Kansas City Southern along the way. And it's not a lot of traffic on that line, but it can often catch some. If I have some more time, my favorite thing is to go a couple hours up the road to Kansas City and to Railfan Santa Fe Junction or some of the yards around Kansas City. Those are my favorite places to go rail fanning. Here's another good question. Let's see. I'm going to keep track of my time. Do you think competition from 3D printing will kill the structure and detail market? I don't think so. It may change a little bit. Hey, and not everybody's going to get a 3D printer. And on the other hand, there'll be a lot of people like me. I have a 3D printer. What I don't have is a lot of skills in computer aided drawing. And so to design something that is the quality that I want, not so easy. So the 3D printer is handy for some things for me, but it's not going to replace structure kits or kit bashing structures or scratch building structures, the old fashioned way. I think it may open up some new small industries for structures. We may have new opportunities to buy from people who are 3D printing, quality structures, and it may open up some new areas, ways for us to kit bash our structures. But I don't think it's going to kill it. La 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 la. Okay. I'm going to grab one more here. I'm going to find it in a second. Here we go. Pete Motley. Has there been talk to make as many in-scale kits as HO? I have a bear of a time finding in-scale modern hooded signals. You're exactly right. One of the challenges to in-scale is the fact that in-scale just does not have the variety of items that are available, and that is purely that's purely commerce. HO scale accounts for, the last I knew statistics, about 75% of the market in the U.S. In scale, somewhere around 20% of the market. So naturally, companies aren't going to invest as much in scale. I think if more companies did, and as more companies do invest in scale, I think they're going to find that in scale is a growing market. I know a lot more in-scalers now than there were when I first got into in-scale. Part of that's because there is more available and there's better detail available. The sound in sound locomotives is better. There is a lot more. And I think we would see that grow even more if there was a little bit more available. But it also gives us some good challenge to be better modelers because we do have to kit bash or scratch build if we want a particular structure or we want one to look a particular way. So it does encourage us to grow and become better modelers as well. So thanks for that question. Okay, I got one more giveaway, one more $50 gift certificate to Midwest Model Railroad. And I need a number between 1 and 100 starting right now. And we'll see how quickly we get this one in here. There's a question I want to come back to. It went away really quickly. Okay, looking for this number carefully here. Being careful not to miss anybody, not to miss any numbers. Watching. Ooh, there's a close one. There's another close one, and there's another close one. So very close. Keep guessing. We're going to get it in a minute. Sometimes these screens just flash and jump and they scare me. Here we go. Gregory Snyder, number 70. Very good. Congratulations, Gregory, on winning that $50 gift certificate to MidwestModelRR.com or Midwest Model Railroad in Independence, Missouri. Gregory, again, be sure and send me an email to ronstrainsandthings@gmail.com. Put live in the subject line and tell me that, remind me that you won that gift certificate. That way we can get that sent by email to you. And I'm going to write your name down here. Gregory Snyder. All right. Awesome. I just saw that question a minute ago that I wanted to address. Let me scroll back up here to it if it didn't fly by too fast. This is a fun question, so I think I'm going to address this. Humanity Junction says, how has being a pastor influenced your presentation as a YouTube influencer? Has it helped your journey as a modeler? I'm going to answer that in two ways. Number one, my hobbies, and so thus model railroading specifically for all these years, has always been what I said is the thing that keeps me sane. It's the thing that allows me to get away, to escape the stress of everyday life, including work, and being a pastor can be very stressful sometimes. And so model railroading has always been that release. Plus, I grew up on a farm. I grew up and worked my way through school doing construction and building. And so, I always built something with my hands and had something tangible at the end of each project that I could say I did that. My job doesn't have that kind of tangible product, and so having a hobby that does is very helpful. As far as YouTube is concerned, yes, obviously the fact that I'm a public speaker and I'm used to speaking in front of public was a huge help when it came to beginning to make videos. There is definitely a difference between speaking to a group of people and speaking to a camera, but I think it took less of a leap, less of a transition for me to get used to talking to a camera than maybe it might for some other people who just aren't used to doing public speaking. The harder part there was getting used to a certain vocabulary. I mean, I've been a model railroader and a rail fan for a long time, but it didn't mean that I had spent a lot of time talking about railroad things, model railroad things. In my job as a pastor, I'm used to using a certain vocabulary. I can think on my feet very quickly because that vocabulary is there and it's automatic. For the model railroading and for doing videos, I had to work on that. I still have to work on that a little bit. Sometimes I find myself grasping for a model railroad term that I know, but I just can't pull it to myself. So yeah, I'd say it's been a big help. And I definitely have enjoyed the journey all the way along the way. Well, we're just about time to wrap up here. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that you had a good time. I look forward to getting these all of these prizes out to you all. If you happen to jump into the live stream today and you're not a subscriber, I'd encourage you to subscribe down below. If you want to see more model railroad tips, tools, and techniques, coming out with the new videos all the time. Try to come out with one every Tuesday and share with you what I'm learning and what I'm doing. Also want to encourage you again and go to Facebook and join Ron's Rail Fans. We'd love to have you as part of the community there. And beyond that, I hope that you all have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.